Superdome on Sunday. Like, they gave you a do-over, man, for a do-over, a chip shot.
Yeah.
And you couldn't make that. No, every time you cross the 50, you're going for it if you're the Cleveland Browns. Every time you score a touchdown, you're going for 2 if you're the Cleveland Browns. Dustin Hopkins can take the rest of the year off.
I'm going to just stay with kickers and stay in the state of Ohio. Evan McPherson, make a kick, buddy.
Him too.
Oh.
Make a kick. They had to. We said last week I picked Cincinnati to go to the Chargers and win. I didn't think it would go the way that it did, but I thought they'd win because. I think what I said when I made the pick, Reese, was at some point they have to win one of these games, don't they? And the reality is maybe they aren't. Maybe this just ain't it. Maybe this version of the Bengals is like some of the Phillip Rivers Chargers teams or Drew Brees' Saints teams where the quarterback play is exceptional, but everything else is trash. And now with McPherson not being able to hit kicks, you're in this spot where, like, I don't know if you can even trust him the rest of the way. So they're in a really weird spot. You were compensated. You were picked. He's made huge historic kicks as a rookie. He's got to refine himself, and that's a hard thing to do when you're a kicker because it is so much mental when it goes into it.
And there's one more in the division that we can bring up in that regard, too, in Baltimore. What happened to him?
I know.
Yips.
Well, and then you can give some flowers to your guy who just...
The one guy. Thank you, Boswell.
I mean, like, if you think about this, guys, like the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Ravens without scoring an offensive touchdown. If I would have told you that last week, you'd said, yeah, sure. That'll happen.
You told me that at the beginning of the season. I remember one of the first times we did an NFL Blitz, I'm like, the Steelers are going to win 9 games kicking a bunch of field goals, and it's going to make everybody except Steelers fans super angry.
Actually, on that topic, well, no, I'm tempering my enthusiasm a little bit. I'm buying in like 90%, but that's still 10% is right there. In fact, I think in the postgame, Mike Tomlin was asked specifically that question. If I told you before the game that you would have kicked 6 field goals and would have won the game without scoring a touchdown, what would you have said? He goes, Steelers-Ravens.
But yeah, they're gonna have 9. They have 9 wins. Aren't they 9-2 now? Or
yes.
They 8-2.
Yep.
Yeah, they got 9 wins on November 19th. Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week. Who do you got? Cole?
Well, Sean Payton. We've been talking about it. We've been going around. Let me add to it. The more things change, the more things stay the same. He still owns the NFC South. The Broncos have 6 wins. 4 of them are a clean sweep of the NFC South.
Yeah, it's Sean Payton. Sean McDermott could have been another one there just for a game of that magnitude that, all right, go win this. And he did, but yeah, they've got something in Denver. I still can't really explain it because you don't know if it'll translate from week to week, but so far so good.
This isn't a fun one to do around here. It's Jim Harbaugh. And here's why. They had a huge lead. They gave it all up, which is something they did all the time under Brandon Staley. And then they didn't. And they kept going. And at the beginning of the year when they were winning games because Herbert wasn't all the way healthy, they were running it and leading on that. Well, now he's healthy, and now they can run it. They can do that, and they have the best defense in the NFL. And he is a culture tornado. He just is. He comes into a place, and it flips, and he did it in the NFL. I thought it would go this way for him there. I thought they'd be an incredible improvement over Staley, and it has been. There's probably a lot of teams. Remember, guys, he was begging teams to hire him, and nobody would give him a shot.
Yeah, the Vikings.
Oh, there were several who he was begging people to hire, and he wouldn't. And so the Chargers are benefiting from it. Top 3, a big shakeup, fellas. Who do you got, Cole?
I got the Lions, the Bills, and I'm going to be stupid, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Same but somewhat different. I have also it's the same. Lions, Bills, Steelers.
Make it a sweep.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where else to go. I think it's the way to go. Those are the 3 right now. Kansas City deserves to be punished, not just for losing to Buffalo like that happens, but because they've basically gotten lucky and survived for about 6 weeks. And so, yeah, and Pittsburgh's got something special in the sauce. Super Bowl right now. Who do you got, Cole?
I still got to do it because I got to see them lose before I pick against them. I'll still go Chiefs over Lions, but I'm getting a little bit more confident that the Chiefs are done, at least for this year.
I got to give him credit for the win, so I'm going to do the Bills and Lions right now, but I do think there is something there where, okay, it's the regular season, but Buffalo's got to beat Kansas City in the postseason. And Can we say with confidence they could do that right now? No. The game will end up being in Kansas City because the back half of Kansas City's schedule is really easy. So you're going to have to go to Arrowhead and win. So, yeah, I'm not picking the Super Bowl. We're not doing this at the start of the playoffs. We're doing this based on this week. And so I'm with you. I think it's Detroit and Buffalo right now. And then we'll see. But the AFC is really interesting and wide open. And it's basically 4 teams for 3 slots.
is kind of or for one slot is the way the bottom of the AFC is going to be, because there's 6 that I think are locked, and then it's a bunch of teams fighting for that last spot. The Hoosiers and Buckeyes battle on Saturday. The Hoosiers looking for respect. Ryan Day wants a loud shoe. Will you provide it? Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Meijer knows that Thanksgiving is a time to come together, eat together, and share together. During the week of Thanksgiving, November 24th through the 30th, when you buy Meijer brand foods, our Simply Give program will feed up to 4 million neighbors in need. So when you bring that perfectly fluffed stuffing to the table, the cranberry sauce and green bean casserole, you're actually bringing more good to more neighbors. Let's bring more good to Thanksgiving with Meijer brand and Simply Give. Exclusions apply. See Meijer.com for details.
APCO Windows, Siding, and Decks is a family company my dad started in 1962. We don't rely on sales gimmicks, so get multiple estimates. Just make sure one of them is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. It's that time of year. The red bows are not out yet, but I saw someone at the dealership dusting them off. We know what that means. In the meantime, Jermaine Lexus has great inventory on both new and L certified to pick from right now, with 3.49% up to 60 months on their most popular models like the ES, RX, and NX. If you're in the market, please do check them out. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
November is an ideal month to plant trees in Ohio because the soil is still warm, which reduces the transplant stress. Plus, trees require less water in November than in the heat of the summer, allowing roots to grow in the cooler temperatures. When planting trees, keep these tips in mind. Select trees that are zone hardy for where you plan to plant. Avoid planting trees that produce slip hazards like fruits and nuts close to sidewalks. And don't plant large trees near or under utility lines. To learn more about the November tree planting, contact an ISA certified arborist near you by going to trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
What do your home and auto have in common? They're yours, and Progressive protects them both. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Time now to get a look at that weather report. Today, cloudy and mild, high 64. Afternoon rain on your Wednesday, high 58. We do have rain and snow mixed together in the forecast on Thursday. We're going to be looking at about a half inch to an inch of snow that will accumulate on the grass. I'm not expecting anything to stick to the roads. It'll be very, very windy on Thursday, which will make it feel like it's in the upper 20s to lower 30s. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And we are brought to you by our friends at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without the medications. The solution for weight loss is Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Buckeyes and Hoosiers here, high noon at the Shoe on Saturday. One of the biggest games, certainly in Indiana football history, and certainly a game that the Buckeyes have to win. For Indiana, being competitive is a part of it. It is part of a stretch of 6 straight noon games for the Buckeyes. Ryan Day was on Roundtable yesterday and addressed the role the fans will play on Saturday.
This is a big weekend, for all of us, and it's a big weekend for our fans. This is, a noon kickoff, and when they're loud, it makes a huge difference, and it's going to make a difference in this game. So, we're heading into the most important time of the year, and we got to be at our best, and I know the fans are going to be at their best, and this has got to be a hostile, angry environment. I mean, we got everything on the line this week. We want to get to Indianapolis, and we got to win this game, and so we're going to have an edgy week. We're going to be practicing with an edge. And we're going to be playing with an edge this week. And, I know that when Buckeye Nation shows up in that stadium, they're going to have an edge about us. There's going to be an electricity in the stadium. And every time they have the ball, it's going to be loud, which gives our entire defense a huge advantage.
It seems like he's trying to speak it into existence a little bit. Look, I think you're going to get it. I do. I talked about this with the Juice Bringers this morning when I visited with them. I think it will be there right away. It will be fired up right away. And then it's just a matter of, can you get off to a quick start? If you get a 3 and out, if you go down and score right away, then I think it becomes a cauldron. And then I think they're engaged from Jump Street. But I think if it happens the way that it happens in the Nebraska game, where you get the quick change of possession, but then you're not able to take advantage of it and go score right away, then the fan base gets a little nervy. And I've said this for a really long time about Ohio Stadium, and I do not expect this to be the case on Saturday, but Ohio Stadium, especially in for example, the Michigan game recently and some other big games, Ohio Stadium can become a very nervy place for the home team. There's an anxiety that kind of radiates around the place if it's not going well for the Scarlet and Gray, or if it's not as well. I noticed it in the Nebraska game. There was a nerviness. It was like, wait, what is going on? Like, are we really going to lose to Nebraska? Like, it starts to happen. And I don't think this is going to happen Saturday against Indiana, but I think the best way to combat that, if you're Ohio State, is to start with your hair on fire. I would consider, if you win the toss, taking the ball.
Yes.
I would.
I heard
we're going to take the ball and we're going to score.
I heard Coach Day say it yesterday on the Roundtable program. I think he said it twice, maybe in his post-game press conference after the game against Northwestern, that they should have taken the football. It's like, well, then do it. If that's your thought, like, go with your gut in that instance. Like, we had talked yesterday about Ohio State probably not thrilled. They only ran 57 plays. Okay, Then do whatever you can to ensure you get closer to that 80 play mark. And for a start on offense that you've got to have with the drive on down the field. Because if you would think Indiana's Kurt Cignetti is as confident as any coach in the country that we've seen in a really long time. And it does feel like they're going to play chesty. You can't play passive, or you can't start out slow while they start out aggressive, because this is going to be more of a cover every blade of grass game with the secondary in the past couple of weeks. And you go, I don't know if they can lock down for 4 quarters.
I think what he's trying to do with his football team is he's trying to get them to believe he's giving them hope. He's giving them false confidence. Like, I think he has real confidence, but he's trying to build that into his team so that they're 10 feet tall and bulletproof coming in here. That's what he's trying to do. And I respect the heck out of that. I get it. And I think it's up to Ohio State to match it. And that's why I said when I was on with Juice this morning, I said, man, win the toss, take the ball, go score. And the reality is I don't think they have anybody who can cover Jeremiah Smith.
No,
I don't. I think the way that Will Howard is throwing the football, you ought to be able to move the ball up and down the field. And I think that they will. So make this Indiana team chase you a little bit. And then I think you will get what he so desperately wants, which is that full crowd buy-in. But I think if you kick it off to them and they convert a 3rd and 12 and a 3rd and 7, and even if that doesn't manifest in points, but even if it takes 6 minutes off the clock, there's a cost from an environment to that you can't ever get back. It's lost. You have to, because I was at the Nebraska game. We were in the stands. The place was a powder keg at kick. It was a powder keg on the you flip them over. They have the terrible punt. It was ready to go, and then you went 3 and out. I think they went 4 and out. I think they went for the 4th down on that first series, and it was like you go 4 and out, and it's like, well, now you lost your juice. So don't let that happen. Take the ball and go. Take the ball and go. That's where I would be with it. And then I think you get full fan buy-in the way that he wants it. I think that they will be very loud and bought in from Jump Street, but it takes that same buy-in and dominance right away from you.
Yeah, when he talks last night, Coach Day does, about what he thinks Ohio State fans are going to bring to this, my turnaround is then you've got to reward them for it. And that's got to be with aggressive play calling. Like, I know it's a gimmick, but number 4 is there. He was just named a semifinalist for Blitnikoff. Yeah. You just said that Indiana doesn't have anybody that can cover him. There aren't many that probably can in the country. You certainly maybe got some, but guess what? They're wearing scarlet and gray. So you're okie dokie there. Like, if you're able to do that early and get him involved, get Carnell Tate back, get Emeka Egbuka involved, and then later in the game, grind them down with your 2 running backs, you keep that fan base engaged for 4 quarters, and Indiana's never able to get out of it. Like, you drag them down to a place where they don't feel comfortable at any point. Because as soon as they can get comfortable, then they start to get more confident. And if that team builds confidence, then that has a chance to make it very nervy and very quiet in 4th quarter.
Kirk Cignetti was available as well, and he was asked how they have pulled this off to this point at Indiana. Here's what he had to say.
It's all out there. I think any P4 school with the proper commitment is capable of being successful and being ultimately successful. And because, really the difference between victory and defeat in most of these games is very slim. It's all attainable. So we've put ourselves in a position right now to be talked about quite a bit. That's nice. It doesn't help us prepare, doesn't help us play any better. But, we've got some great opportunities ahead of us.
The last time Indiana came in here like this was in 2020, as Cole alluded to earlier. When you were talking about that game, and I was thinking to myself, like, so much kind of goes gray when you think about COVID for me. Like, I can't remember where it was such an odd time in America and in the world. And I'm like, you pulled it up and I saw 42-35 and I go, I don't remember that. I don't remember it like that. And then I pulled up the box score and then I do remember it. Ohio State got up 35-7 in the 3rd quarter of this game. Okay. They actually got up 42-21 at the end of the 3rd quarter on a Sean Wade interception return for a touchdown to make it 42-21. Indiana scored. It looks like they scored to make it 42-35 with 10 and a half minutes left. Do I have that right? In that game to cut it, they scored 2 touchdowns at the start of the 4th, or were those at the end? I mean, I'm just trying to make sense of the flow of that game because it doesn't feel like I have to pull up my 3 things to try to make sense of it. So Indiana last scored a touchdown. There were 2 more possessions after it. Ohio State went 11 plays, 68 yards, failed to get it on downs. When you're up 7 after they scored to make it 42, then you hold them to a 4 and out and a punt. Then you punted. You went 6 plays, 10 yards, and you had to punt. And then they went 7 plays, 12 yards, and fumble, and that was the end of it. So they actually scored the 2 touchdowns pretty early in the fourth quarter. So it's strange how a game like that happens, and you have because it really wasn't. It was 35-7 at the start of the. They score right away to make it 35-7 in the third quarter, and then Indiana battled all the way back and make it seem. I guess it was close in the fourth. So that was a strange one with that day in 2020 here against this Indiana team. The college football playoff poll is going to come out today. One thing that I'm seeing a lot in the prognostications that I do not understand, I'm going to get to coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. The Daily Coach Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by Credit Union of Ohio and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's a daily show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Light Auto Glass. In looking back at last Saturday's game against Northwestern, the first thing to ask about is how the defense adjusted after Northwestern had their first drive going and how those adjustments paid off.
Well, I thought we got off the field on third down. That was really the big thing. I mean, we had a 3rd and 10 plus there, and they hit a run on us, and we just we're in a a pass defense, and we have an opportunity to make the tackle. We missed the tackle, and then they converted on a couple of those third downs, and we get the fumble in the red zone. Great effort play by Jack Sawyer, and a bunch of guys running to the football, giving great effort. And then from then on, I thought we did a much better job on third down. Still a couple other conversions. One in particular was a bubble screen on 3rd and 11. Another thing that we just got to get guys on the ground. But I think that led to it. I thought 1st and 2nd down we did a decent job holding the 50 yards rushing.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Light Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safe Light Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Ryan, I have to ask you about Sonny Styles, the way he played against Northwestern, and just the way he's developed over the course of his time here as a young player.
Yeah, a lot of production. You saw him getting after the quarterback. You saw him run to the sidelines and making tackles in coverage, so he's, he spent some time working on some of the pass rush stuff. You're seeing that pay off for him. And again, when you can do those types of things, you can create matchup issues and good to see him, get a lot of production points in this game.
All right, this is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Lindsay Honda clearance.
Factory authorized clearance on most Hondas in stock.
They'll go fast because Lindsay is offering 0% up to 60 months on every 2024 Honda in stock.
That's 0% up to a full 60 months.
It's Black Friday all month long as the clearance begins at Lindsay Honda.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
With approved credit on select in-stock 24 Honda models. Dealer contribution may affect consumer cost.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Billiards Plus has the area's best selection of pool tables, shuffleboard tables, poker tables, and more. Santa will be here soon, and there's still inventory in stock, so get yours before Billiards Plus runs out. Don't forget your grill, too. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
You're going to get your college football playoff poll tonight. You're going to get your bracket. I've long said that I thought they would have been much better off just doing a bracket every week and forgetting the poll because I think this is where they could get in a little bit of trouble. One thing that I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding, a disconnect with, if you will, when it comes to the poll and the bracket and all of it. And I saw this from Nicole Auerbach, who's our buddy Joshua Perry's partner on a podcast. Obviously, she's on the Big Ten on NBC. So she gives her her college football playoff picks. But what she did it as a bracket. She basically did it as a bracket. So she had Oregon 1, she had Texas 2, Miami 3, Colorado 4. So what she's doing with Colorado is she's jumping them over BYU and assuming Colorado beats BYU in a Big 12 championship game. She's obviously doing the same with Miami against SMU in an ACC title game. Then she's got the Buckeyes 5, Penn State 6, Notre Dame 7, Alabama 8, Ole Miss 9, Georgia 10, Indiana 11 on this. So to me, it seems like she's prognosticating how she thinks this will finish. And based on where we are right now, to drop Indiana all the way to 11 behind 3 two-loss SEC teams in Georgia, Ole Miss, and Alabama before they've lost to the Buckeyes, which obviously we all think that they will. My issue there is to me, guys, there's no scenario where Ohio State's the 5. I don't think it's even possible for Ohio State to be the 5. I think Ohio State's either going to be the 1 or they will be the 6 or 7 or 8. I just see no scenario where they're in the 5 spot.
It does feel like a placeholder for right now.
Yeah,
just being that next at-large bid, and then they kind of figure it out what it would be on that December 8th. Then once all of the games have been played and you have all your conference champions, then you figure out what to do with the best, what would provide the best matchup, what would provide the best game, what would provide the best television show. Because, yeah, the 5 for Ohio State, for the past 2 weeks now, it just felt like, well, they're there until... You know, and for Colorado, I didn't think about the Colorado thing, but now I absolutely expect the College Football Playoff Committee to put Colorado in that 4 spot and say, well, they could, they're right now 1 loss tied with BYU for the top of the Big 12, because guess what happens when Colorado plays Kansas, who's somehow a giant killer? Like, that makes for a very interesting discussion this week.
And this is so specific, so I don't even know it's worth me bringing it up. But if you have a repeat, though, of the last Oregon-Ohio State game where they lose really close, because they've already shown that they had Ohio State above Georgia in the initial college football playoff rankings when a lot of people thought that they were going to have Georgia above them and punish them for losing to Oregon. But you kind of saw their mindset that Oregon's the number 1 team and Ohio State was just barely beneath them on the field. So I could see a scenario... And how much are they going to punish Notre Dame for the Northern Illinois loss if they go clean sheet the rest of the way? Could Notre Dame jump up to the 5? So it's going to, and then Lord knows that the SEC is just a giant mess right now. But I see a little bit of a scenario where it's possible, but 5 or 6, because if your goal is to play either the ACC or the Big 12 in the next round, then 5 or 6 is plenty fine.
Bob just texted me, and he has a similar thought to you. He said if Ohio State loses to Oregon by less than 10, they'll be the 5. The only counter I would say to that is if Texas is 11-1 and loses the SEC title game, they're going to be the 5, and Ohio State would drop below. I think Texas would be ahead of Ohio State in that scenario. But that's a coin flip situation. He also reminded that the College Football Playoff Committee has said they're not going to punish teams from losing a conference championship game. Well, if they are honest about that, that also means that a 3-loss SEC team is getting in. If they're not going to use that last metric to punish a team, then a 3-loss SEC is getting in this thing. So what that means is that whoever, whether it's right now, I think the tiebreaker formula favors Alabama as an SEC championship competitor against Texas if it holds firm. Then Alabama will not be punished by losing to Texas, should they lose to Texas and pick up the 3rd loss. If you believe them. And I say that, be cautious.
Big if.
Because they can do whatever they want at the end.
Yeah.
They can absolutely do whatever they want. I think Indiana's in a really dangerous spot. And I think they do have to play well here Saturday. And I think they will. I do think they'll play well. But I think if they get bombed, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to make it work.
And they'd be the lone hope for the Big Ten to get 4 in. Because
the only hope.
Back to that SEC scenario that you talked about, if it's a close loss, but it's an SEC team with their 3rd loss, then that's where that comes in. Saying, well, they have 3 losses on the season, but the loss was in the SEC championship game. Whereas Indiana, they had a loss, but they got no help from the rest of their schedule, and then they got crushed in the one game that they had to play.
I don't understand how you can have Miami ahead of SMU. SMU's schedule and results are more impressive than Miami's. I don't understand how you can have Colorado ahead of BYU. Colorado has 2 losses. BYU beat SMU.
They said so. It was the teleconference last week. They asked Ward Manuel, and his word salad was, "Well, we like Cam Ward." And so that's why when you say to me like,
so
"How would you put Colorado in that 4 spot right now instead of BYU?" Shedeur, Travis Hunter, and Dion Sanders.
So everything you just said with Cam
It's
Ward
nonsense,
and Shedeur and
but-
Dion. No. What it also does is it hurts Indiana. Because that's eye test and that's stars. That's what it is. It's eye test and stars.
And that's what this game's going to come down to.
That's why this is brutal.
In Ohio State and Indiana, I don't think this game serves as really any feather in the cap for Ohio State. This is kind of a determination of whether or not Indiana's real. I think everyone's kind of convinced on what Ohio State is, and certainly the committee, because I just told you they had Oregon number 1. They had the team that barely lost to number 1 at number 2. So people seem pretty content with where they think Ohio State is. But I'm kind of curious as to see what is Indiana's floor. If they get ran by like 35 in this game, how far do they drop? Because, and I don't know about the committee, but the way that just fans are going to be talking football at work and with their buddies, no one is going to be taking Indiana seriously. That's going to be viewed as a cakewalk opening playoff game for whoever plays them if they lose by like 35 to Ohio State.
I think you're right. I think that it doesn't matter how Ohio State beats Indiana. I think it matters a great deal how Indiana loses to Ohio State.
Bingo.
Buckeyes can win by 7. No big deal. Still going to be number 2 team in the country, number 3, whatever. And you're going to go to the game, and then you got the Oregon game, and then away you go. And then you can win by 7. You can win by 40. It doesn't do you any good. Indiana has to play competitively. If they play competitively, then they have a real shot to stay in this thing. And then it'll come down to you're going to have 4 Big Ten, so it's going to come down to the committee. Are they honest in what they're saying? Do they believe it's their real truth that they will? Because it will be a 2-loss SEC team in that title game. And if the 2-loss SEC team takes its 3rd loss, are you really not going to hold that against them?
Do you think at all that the committee has taken into account the SEC tiebreakers in order to kind of stack the deck with these 4 teams that are kind of all jumbled between 9 and 12 to like put whoever would make the SEC championship at the bottom so that way they wouldn't have to just hold an SEC championship loser above teams who didn't make it? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. The reality is I don't. They can reverse engineer this any way they want. Is the reality of it. I assume that the tiebreakers, and this is a big assumption, but I assume the tiebreakers are in place. Well, there's uneven metrics. Like Georgia's 6-2, and right now they would be the 3. They're the 3 in the SEC. Texas A&M plays Texas though at the end of the year. They got Auburn this week, and then they play Texas. So that part of it has to sort itself out too. I think it would be Texas and Alabama if they hold firm. And the problem is Alabama, they got Auburn obviously in 2 weeks, and then this is the week when the SEC, like most of the SEC takes it off, but I don't think, no, they got Oklahoma.
Yeah, they're
so
at OU.
Alabama's at OU on Saturday night, and then they get Auburn. If they win those 2 games and they're 10-2, and then they go lose to Texas in the SEC title game, are you really not going to hold that against them? That's the problem. And Alabama would be, at that point, Alabama would get all the way up to like 6th or 7th in the country if they win out. And they're Alabama, for crying out loud. Remember, we're making TV shows. It's going to be a mess. Absolute mess. 3 things on a Tuesday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Did you know we have another station? More Buckeyes, more play-by-play, more everything.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2 or listen on the Fan app.
Your home for almost too much football. The Fan.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I've had to be versatile my whole football career. Of course, I'm a defensive end, but I've also played special teams and even played fullback. Whether I'm blocking or tackling, I've got to be ready for any job out there, which is why I love the versatility in Kubota's BXB and L Series tractors. There's no task too big or small with Kubota tractors from Green & Sons. Visit greenandsons.com today or stop by their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville, and get yourself a Kubota tractor that works as hard as I do.
Discover fantastic holiday gift ideas at low prices this week at Meijer. Enjoy 20% off select board games and puzzles for the whole family. Get 20% off select Lego playsets. Save $170 on a KitchenAid 5.5-quart stand mixer, now only $279.99. Experience the sense of the season when you save 30% on Yankee Candle products. Shop in-store or online at Meijer.com, and you'll receive the same low prices no matter how you choose to shop. Exclusions apply.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship,
your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky's Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Before we get to the poll, Mike with this, and I'm with him on this. He says it's impossible to think of a conference championship loss as nothing when the winner of that game gets a bye. It has to matter somewhat. He's right. He's 100% right. They can tell you it's not going to matter. Ask Wisconsin in 2014. Of course it matters. If you get buried, if you're a 2-loss SEC team and you get buried in the conference championship game, it's going to matter. It has to matter. Yeah, I just don't buy that at all. I couldn't agree more, Mike. Good tweet. What do we have in the poll, Reese?
Daily Fan Poll asks, where will Dion Sanders be coaching next season? Colorado, Browns, Cowboys, Giants are your options. So he stays in Boulder, he goes to Cleveland, or he goes to Dallas, or he goes to New York. 43% of you think he's going to be coaching the Cowboys next season. 41% say he's going to be coaching Colorado, and then 7% each Browns and Giants.
I know a lot of people. Diana Rossini was on Levitard this morning, and she said that all her indications are that he wants to stay in college. And Boulder's a lovely place to live. I just don't know, you're not getting Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders to go back to Boulder. That was a one-off, and I think he probably knows that. I also think Jerry... The thing is, though, if Jerry signs me to coach the Cowboys, is he also going to try and draft Shedeur? And then how do they do that with Dak? I don't know if Jerry can even handle all of that, quite honestly.
For the love of God, please, NFL teams, do not try to pull the father and son thing. This is pro sports. And
it's wild.
Dion just flipped one of the best quarterbacks in this recruiting class. I think that may be what keeps him. Juju Lewis.
Have you guys been to Denver? Boulder? You been to that area?
No, but I hear nice things about it.
It's stunning. Yeah, it's a great place to live. And you can be the king of there. There are worse things. All right, time for 3 things on a Tuesday.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
All right, number 1 for me, one of my most looked forward to things in the uniform aesthetic realm every year is when Army and Navy drop their uniforms for the Army-Navy game. Army dropped theirs yesterday. I'm a Navy guy. Most of my family, Navy people, have great friends in the Naval Academy. But my God, Army. It's honoring the 101st Airborne. This is Band of Brothers. This is what Easy Company was in. They're honoring Battle of the Bulge. These things are flawless. Great job on them. Tough for Navy to compete whenever they drop theirs, but these are perfection. Good job out of the fellas at West Point.
So at the top of this hour, in my update, it gets difficult sometimes trying to fit in everything you've written for the script with the music for an update. Because I wanted to say the Cavs are just one of 3 teams to start 15-0. The only team to get that 16th win was the 15-16 Golden State Warriors. And so I think I got all of that in the update. What I didn't get in the update was that people forget that team started off 24-0, then lost to the Cavs after blowing a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. People forget. They shouldn't. Go Cavs tonight.
Yep.
Can I interest you in a Thanksgiving nap? Because you can schedule it for 4:30 in the afternoon because the Giants just benched Daniel Jones this week. Tommy DeVito will be starting against Cooper Rush. Do you have any interest in watching that?
Nah.
I do not.
No, I'm good. Hopefully there's some college football or something else. All right, number 2 for me. I mentioned this when we were doing the Yellowstone review. If you like just exploring a world that you hadn't seen before or were unaware of, this Landman show that Taylor Sheridan did for Paramount Plus is really fun. It's not going to It's not going to reinvent the way you watch television. Not the greatest thing we've ever seen, but it's Billy Bob Thornton just chewing up scenery after scenery after scenery, scene after scene. He is crushing it. I've always been fascinated by their area since I read the Buzz Bissinger book, Friday Night Lights, years ago, and then all the stuff that was made off of it. I've always been curious about that part of the country. They crush it. It's really good. Check it out if you want to be entertained.
So Oklahoma, we talked about the Sooners having Alabama at home this Saturday night. They're 5-5 on the season, and then next week they're taking on number 22 LSU. Earlier today, the Oklahoma football Twitter account posted their spring game date.
Okay.
Mark your calendars, Sooner Nation, and spring game on April 12th, which I think is the earliest of any big boy university to do as much. The comments section, boy, it's a really fun place. Hopefully a new staff is down there on the field. What's the bowl game date? Who's the OC, though?
Jeez.
Who will be the coach? Finally, an SEC game you can win.
Would they take Lincoln Riley back? As bad as he's been at SC?
Yeah.
Not if Bob Stoops has anything to say about it.
No, Bob Stoops won't ever let him. I'm just saying, I wonder what the fan base... Here's the thing, if you fire Venables. Who's next? And do you have the oil money lined up to pay for everything?
Whoever Tulane's coach is. I don't know.
So Kurt Signetti?
Not at 63, no.
So I told you guys that I was going to the Browns-Steelers game on Thursday. First Steelers game ever, shockingly. I've been to Notre Dame a million times, but never seen a Steelers game. I kind of don't want to go. I'll go, but it's going to be 37 degrees.
Yeah.
It may be raining during the drive. Look, I'm young. I'm 25. I'm young in the radio game, so I'll do anything for a story to tell. Anything. I'm serious, and I have done stuff just for the sake of the story. I went to the Indy 500 last year. The stories that I was telling on the radio in St. Louis from that was insane. But I'll go. I'm not really looking forward to it, though. And not to belittle Browns fans, but for a gimme win like this, really, I'll go, but I don't want to.
All right, finally for me, NBC, first middle school basketball game tonight, just a scrimmage. They have 13 kids on the roster, and we are told it's a developmental year. Never a good sign when you're told that.
As a Browns fan, Cole, I can't blame you for not wanting to make the trip for Thursday night football. About kickoff, it's going to be 39. Snow is in the forecast, so I don't think Jameis is going to be throwing for nearly 400 yards in this. Watch it be a 12-9 Steelers win.
Ryan Day is about to take the podium. He will finish his session at the podium at what time, Bo?
We're going to go, I think he's going to have a lot to say. I think it's going to be 29-21.
All right, tack a few minutes onto that, and that is when Rothman and Ice will start. No ice. I guess just that Steelers-Ravens game was too tough for him to show up to work this week. But Ryan Baker's going to be filling in for him.
You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We're back tomorrow, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JustSports for a welcome bonus of up to $100. New Super Bowl odds have a new favorite to win it all. The Detroit Lions are plus 350 to win the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs 5-1. Buffalo Bills plus 650. Only other single-digit odds goes to the Ravens and the Eagles at 8-1. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
What's better than giving a gift everyone wants? Getting free gas and groceries by earning perks on gift cards purchased at Giant Eagle, Market District, and Get-Go. Choose from hundreds of gift cards to make everyone merry this holiday season from the biggest retailers and best brands, all while earning you free gas and groceries. Stop in our stores for bonus perk offers on gift cards. Give the gift everyone wants and get a little something for yourself, too. The holidays are magical at Giant Eagle, Market District, and Get-Go.
Hey, what's up? It's Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night, and you can't stand your CPAP machine. The good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. Yeah, Marysville. If you're snoring and waking up all of Marysville or wherever you live and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also check him out online, sleepbettercolumbus.com, and now sleepbettermarysville.com.
Everyone has that one goal, that thing they want to prove, not to other people, but to themselves. Then, right when you think you could actually do it, cancer. And that goal is still within reach. Oh no, I'm about to run my first ever marathon with my two best friends. 3 years after having cancer.
At least we look good in these shorts.
Woo! Let's get it, guys. You, keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Peter, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored